going to talk to you, rather tell you, show you how education can be a platform for human development, how education can be a platform where cultural boundaries, national boundaries can be surpassed, to share understanding of knowledge created and developed across cultures. And the best medium to exchange when you're dealing with cultures is arts. So today I'm going to talk about arts-based learning using arts. How this works is that arts become the medium of interpretation to share knowledge, to understand knowledge, and to create knowledge. Arts are one medium, a phenomenal medium that can link learning in various ways, especially the two dimensions of learning, thinking and feeling. And for example, let me start with a painting here. This painting is an example of European neoplasticism. This can be used to teach children parallel lines, perpendicular lines, different types of angles. Color theory. Further on, color theory can be pulled into local culture. Local culture in the form of Holi. Children can be introduced to environmental science by making their own colors, environmental friendly, natural colors from fruit, vegetables, and natural dyes. At the same time, learn mathematics via ratios and proportions to make the colors that have to do it themselves. At the same time, the important thing that would happen is contextualization. The festival of Holi, which is also important to the child, gets connected to the rest of the learning. And once that happens, the concept of colors can be further integrated along with the environmental science concepts into textile printing across the world. Example, batik. Batik is a very ancient form of printing, can be found everywhere from Indonesia to Africa to India. And then you can loop mathematics, environmental science, color theory with history and geography across civilizations. That form of learning can be looped into something like origami, the Japanese art of paper folding. And origami is phenomenal. It can connect to history, it can connect to mathematics, it can connect to science in various different ways. For example, the cranes you see, the paper cranes that you see dangling here on this particular stand in different colors, they are a very important part of Japanese culture. There's a very prominent story about a Japanese girl, Sadako, who was trying to make 1,000 cranes to get herself cured from leukemia that happened as a result of the Hiroshima-Nagasaki bombing. And children now, especially where we teach, they make these cranes and give to each other as a symbol of hope, as a symbol of peace. So that kind of learning that links one to human history can further be looped to mathematics. Everything from 2D polygons to 3D polyhedrons, like the one I'm holding. This is a C60 molecule. To the DNA you see dangling on the stage, to all forms of polyhedrons, a gyroscope over there that can connect environmental science, mathematics, history, geography, geometry, to chemistry, biology. Physics can happen via culture, via arts. The other important thing that can also happen is pulling the idea, the knowledge of dimensions into something like design. You see the floral design here? You can link all the learning from arts to something like this, where with a Fibonacci sequence. I'm sure a lot of you know the Fibonacci sequence. If you look at this design, Fibonacci sequence at play in all of design, all of nature, all that humans create, all that exists by itself. You can see 3:5:8 ratio. 3:5:8 ratio in depth. We can also see 3:5:8 ratio in height. That is the Fibonacci ratio, and it gives result to what is known as the golden ratio. And once children learn about the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence and how this occurrence happens in nature and in all human communication, you can see the Fibonacci sequence in music and poetry and dance and art and architecture and poetry and everything that's around us. Even this particular building would have used the sequence in many different ways to be constructed. One such know-how, such knowledge creation happens with learners about using existing knowledge to build and take other things ahead. Learners learn to identify gaps. If you look at this design, there are gaps between the ratio, between the 3:5:8 here and between the 3:5:8 here. And that gap is reflection, the third dimension of learning. The first two were learning and thinking and feeling. And the third dimension is reflection. Now we are going to take this learning and use it with tabla. Shalini here will help us understand, contextualize learning. What happens is when we use a concept like the Fibonacci sequence or any other scientific theory, we can exhibit form and content. The gaps between the ratio, the 3:5:8, give a form and content to this design. But the context depends on us. What we do with the design is up to us. That is the context. So today we are going to link our learning from design to learning mathematics via tabla. Tabla, as you just saw in the performance, has its own language. All the ball that Shalini was saying, that is the language of tabla. Tabla is phenomenal to teach students, learners, children, the development of language, especially a new language. Shalini, can you start with a basic ball?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1.
So essentially, the ball that Shalini just said. Shalini, can you repeat the ball, please?
Dha, dha, tin, tin, dha, dha, tin, na, ta, ta, tin, tin, dha, dha, tin, na.
Now this is the basic ball in the language of tabla. This is very similar to ka, cha, ta, ta, pa, da, ja, da, da, ba in all languages derived from Sanskrit. The basis of Varnamala. So this is how we loop tabla into language learning. The similar ball of tabla can be used to teach mathematics too, and the Fibonacci sequence concept from the design is going to be looped into tabla now. Shalini, can we continue with the second phase, please?
This is also in 16 beats. Dha, ti, te, dha, ti, te, dha, da, ti, te, dha, ti, te, dha, ti, te, dha, dha, ti, te, dha, ti, te, dha, dha, ti, te, dha, ti, te, dha. तो इसमें जो धा है, ऐसे तो बहुत सारे धा हैं, लेकिन जो एक मेन धा है उस पर मैंने वजन दिया है, एक उसको उसकी वैल्यू को बताया है एक वजन देके, जैसे धा ती टे धा ती टे धा धा ती टे धा ती टे धा ती टे धा धा ती टे धा ती टे धा धा ती टे धा ती टे धा.
The 3:5:8 points. And what it enables is it enables children to identify patterns. patterns in learning. And then if the same ball are given gaps in different ways, Shalini, can you give it a different gap?
तो अभी 10 ये 16 बीट्स था और अब मैं आपको 10 बीट्स में करके दिखाऊंगी, सिर्फ उसके गैप को चेंज करके। धा के में क्या गैप बढ़ गया है जिसकी वजह से वो 16 से 10 में आ गया है। धा ती ट धा ती ट धा धा ती ट धा ती ट धा ती ट धा 1 2 धा ती ट धा ती ट धा 1 2 धा ती ट धा ती ट धा।
So thank you, Shalini. There was permutations and combinations. As a result of this form of learning, children develop the capability to start deriving equations on their own, starting from 6th and 7th grade. They do not need a textbook anymore. This form of learning can be transferred. This knowledge creation can be linked to percussion instruments across the world. So as you can see, education and learning can go across, beyond boundaries, can appeal to any audience, can result in a very simplified form of learning for the learners, no matter what culture, what background they're from. One common thing between the paintings that I've shown you on either side, or the color, or the design, the batik printing, Japanese origami linking science, mathematics, design to history and art, or tabla linking everything back to music and mathematics again. There's a common element here. It is that learning is not linear. Learning is spiral. Learning connects everything in the world to everything else. When things are put into boxes, we dissociate our learning from each other. So arts-based learning enables to link one form of learning to the other, and especially focus on the third dimension, the reflection. Learning also should be contextualized. Like here, we contextualized learning in the festival Holi, we contextualized learning in the Japanese culture, in World War history, in using a very important classical musical form of India, the tabla. Now the important thing to know about learning, one more form of importance that it has, is education. Once it is contextualized, it connects local issues, local problems, local learning, local knowledge to the rest of the world. What is made in a particular area reaches the rest of the world to be used in different forms, in different ways. So is the case with everything else. So what happens in a tiny place in one part of the world has significance for everybody all across the world. That is contextualization, and you saw how the gaps in the tabla, the gaps in the design link reflection to everything else. And this is true. I mean, this is true of learning since the beginning of the millennium. Everything in the world is connected to everything else. And there is no bigger testament than this city, this ancient city of Benares. If you see, everything spirals down here. This city is able to attract learners from all across the globe and help them anchor themselves here. That is spiraling. Well, when we're talking about crossing boundaries and Pangea and how we can become one unit all across the world, perhaps Pangea is not a hypothetical thought. Perhaps Pangea already exists in the third dimension of reflection. We as humans are only used to two-dimensional thinking, two-dimensional feeling, two-dimensional being. But perhaps Pangea already exists in this world, in that third dimension. The third dimension of reflection, the third dimension of hope, the third dimension of knowledge construction, the third dimension of sharing that knowledge for the well-being of all the people of the world.